All right, so I think we're back on a gun clip for a little bit. I see a lot of Harold on my screen.
Yeah. This is
Harold,
where she finds Harold and they talk about grief.
yeah, is this where he's telling her like? Is this where he helped? Wait, her they already did her dad, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't. Grief is tricky, and they've all been through a lot of it. At least everyone can relate to everyone that's left, right?
Yeah.
There's no one that's like, oh, I don't know what it's like to have my parents die. So there's that at least. Like everyone's traumatized. My God, you're okay, Harold. Maybe not great, but okay. Fucking Franny.
I mean, she's not
in,
wrong.
in fact, considering the circumstances and all, I'd have to say you're one of my favorite people in the whole world. You bitch. This seemed to make Harold cry harder. I wonder why. I'm not even sure he meant it that way, but like what? Yeah, Franny's just she's worse than Susanna. I like Susanna to a point.
I
I don't think I like Franny.
I actually disagree. I like Franny more than Susanna. I like that she is kind of a bitch. Like,
She's definitely made to survive this situation because she's number one for sure. She's worried
right.
about herself before anybody else. It, she doesn't care what she says or who she hurts along the way. Although so far it's only Harold. So maybe that's why she doesn't care because it's just fucking Harold.
But she also like is so far recognizing the hard work that Harold is putting in. So it's not like she's, just like taking advantage of him.
I think she was willing to give him credit until they met Stu, and it kind of changed the whole dynamic and the way he acted, changed the situation
Well,
for
we don't
her.
I mean, they've barely spent any time together, so I think you're right, but we don't really know that yet.
No, I think we do know that, and because well, it's just I don't mean that anything specific happened. I just mean because they met and the way Harold acted when they met, and then we got it ended with Stu saying, "Actually, I think I do want her, no matter what I told Harold."
Yeah, but that doesn't have anything to do with how Franny feels.
I think Stu being there changed how Franny feels about Harold. She's less willing to put up with his shit. Is what I was saying, but maybe not.
I don't think there's really been shit to put up with really so far.
Well, just Harold being Harold.
I
His
think
dad
that
asked him if he was a queer boy after all. And I got so scared I cried and he slapped my face. His dad wasn't exactly understanding, was he? Oh, wait, he was the big sports guy and had the weird son that he couldn't understand, right?
who is this?
Harold's
Yeah.
dad.
Mm. I don't.
Yeah, so this is just them. For a moment, she thought he was going to kiss her, and in that single shining moment, she probably would have allowed it. But then the moment passed. Like in retrospect, she was glad it did, or she was glad.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say about that.
I mean, I can relate to that.
Well, yeah, clearly would have been a bad idea, right? Harold, would you think Harold's infatuated with her now? My God.
I mean, again, I think she's not like outright just being like, "Oh, I hate this kid." Like she kind of was at the beginning. She's like, "All right, it's me and you. Maybe you're not so
Yeah,
bad after all."
and that's what I mean. And then Stu shows up. It's like, well,
Well, yes, but to her credit, she's not like she could be way worse to Harold.
she could, but she also needs Harold, I think, right now.
Yeah, I think so too. Just because she has zero plan.
Right, that. Yeah, what's your plan? No plan. Let's walk.
And
Huh.
again, she does kind of have a looming like I almost said bomb, but like she is gonna have to
Issue.
deliver a baby at some point.
I was just, yeah, and I was thinking about that. I think there's another Fran part, I think, right? And I was thinking about that, and like she goes there right after, like I did, because I was reading her part going, wait a minute, she's having a baby. Ooh. There's many, many ways that could end badly.
Yeah. Well, and
Especially,
she also hasn't told anyone that she's going to have a baby yet thus far.
Yeah.
And she's not far enough along that it's showing.
But they're planning on walking for a good, indefinitely, and she's pregnant. That's going to be a limited run. And it's
nobody said she was smart.
Yeah, right. We've met the old lady?
We met what?
The old lady? The really old lady?
Oh, Abigail?
Yeah.
Sort of. Not really.
She was mentioned in Nick's stream, I think.
Yeah.
You come see me, Nick, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I can't say that part, I don't think.
We don't fully know her as a character yet, but we're hearing about her now.
So let's say, I have to say the one smart thing that I like Harold did was all the goddamn signs that he left for everyone. So
yeah.
I like that part.
I mean, he's smart. Like, there's a lot that he has going for him.
Or if you're looking to kill whoever's left, he's stupid. But you're going to attract them all, so they might not be good or all good people when you're doing that. This is the apocalypse, so it's kind of an everyman. There's not many democracies. I guess there could be one, but mostly it's going to, like Glenn said, the what did he say? Those who have the power or the strong will rise up and take over and provide. I don't remember. It was comfort and services to people, and they'll follow them. So it's not going to be a democratic situation. It's going to be people who took over. So those people are going to just take over if they have to. So I think the sign leaving might be a mixed bag. I like it. I guess in the end. No, I haven't read this in like 2 weeks. So I'm just kind of thinking as I read it. So. But I remember seeing that the first time. The first time I read this, that was my first. I was like, "Oh, Harold, like this is like a sign, like that. Lloyd and Trash could be following that for all we know."
I just remember, and I feel like they bring it up later on. I think Stu brings it up later on, but seeing that, like, however the sign was written at the end, that Harold must have like risked his life to put her name on there.
Yeah, I couldn't quite picture that the way she was freaking out, and then like he was hanging over the edge just to get her. I mean, so I'm picturing like the side of a barn. I can picture that, and they always have that like hole at the top where everybody jumps out on the rope. So I guess that's what he was doing, hanging from the rope out of there and like swinging back and forth to with a paintbrush or something. I'm not real sure. I couldn't quite get that one. But then that's just right. What if Harold breaks a leg? She ain't gonna take care of him. She gonna go Larry on him. Like, sorry, I ain't no nice girl. And then Stu meets Glenn. Okay, so we kind of talked about that anyway. So
yeah,
the flu almost seems like the common cold to us. Yes. How many times I say that about COVID? It's just a goddamn cold. I don't understand. The cold that lasted longer than a cold. So yeah, where's Stu and Glenn? They're in Maine still?
Yeah.
And he's heading from Vermont. They're heading to Vermont. So where's Stu going? I think he said to the ocean and then he'll figure it out.
Yeah, I don't really know.
I think he's just walking for plot purposes, he's just walking until he meets Harold and Franny, basically.
Right.
Stu's just vibing.
Right. Hitting Glenn's vape, just hanging out. Maybe he'll paint some pictures for himself. I mean, it's not a bad rest of your life, I guess. A little boring. Yeah, I need people. I need someone that I can tell bad jokes to. See, it worked already. Um, do we have anything else to say about Glenn? I guess not.
I'm just glad there's a dog still around.
Yeah, I hope. I can't remember. Yeah, I just can't say it. I don't remember if there's any other dogs.
Well, Fran and Harold said they saw one.
Well, I mean, in our story, I don't remember. I don't think there's any other animals. Period.
Oh, there are.
Oh, okay.
They're not
Not
dogs.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, friendly pet type animals, I guess is what I meant.
Right.
Cats and litter boxes and birds in the living rooms and stuff. There are definitely, yes, like you said. Oh, my other that's like my favorite death, I think. Anyway, I gotta stop saying it. Getting ahead of myself. Um Heaven and earth, the dark man whispered from the empty hole where his face should have been. Do they never actually see his face? I didn't remember.
I don't
Is he what?
remember.
Because it's a thing. It's like a black face with two red eyes, like
Yeah.
Amityville Horror or something.
Well, it made me think of the Crimson King, not Flag or Walter or whatever the fuck.
Oh, and right to the boss this time, huh?
Yeah.
Well, because he's known to be pretty sane. Um, the final cut, the unkindest cut of all, some might have said. Yes. This is awful and fascinating. I read this part twice the first time I read it. Oh man, like because I never thought of that. Like, oh, everybody got the flu and died, and then some people live. Let's move on. Like, well, wait a minute. There's that middle part.
Yeah.
Sam Tauber fell in a well. Ugh, I hate that.
Like the
And he like,
others I could deal with, that first one though, and for it to be the first one, I was just like, oh God, my heart.
I know. I was like, oh god, it's gonna get worse from here. This was just the first one. And he died 20 hours later from as much from fear and misery as from shock and hunger. And I'm sure he just gave up.
Yeah, that's gruesome.
Yeah.
He broke both legs. Oh jeez.
Oh, no great loss. That's what I was trying to remember earlier.
Oh yeah. See, there he goes again with that. I love that. No great loss. And then he says it like for every story, every death after this, he says like no great loss.
Yeah.
Irma was the one that had a gun blow up in her face, I think, right?
Yep.
I mean, that I could see that would probably happen a lot because a lot of people probably are pulling guns out of their closets that haven't been used in 20 years.
Absolutely.
Or don't know how to use a gun in the first place and
Right. Or didn't clean it or something before they pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
Well, that would be me. I would just pick up a gun and start shooting to see if it worked. I wouldn't know anything about cleaning it so it didn't like backfire in your face or something.
Right. Yeah, same.
But now that I said it, I'm gonna think about that if it comes up. I'm kind of hoping it doesn't come up. So.
Hope not. Jeez.
Yeah, it would be a bad day, right? Well, maybe it's Captain Trips. There's a new COVID variant. You never know how that's gonna go.
Oof.
But that's like the flu at this point. There's a new one every year. Who gives a shit? Just combine the goddamn flu shot and the COVID shot and call it a day. I mean, don't get vaccinated. That's how they get you. That's for the no vaxxers. The stupid people. We call them the stupid people. Because you've already been vaccinated. Guess I'm gonna have to edit this episode. Huh?
Probably.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I don't really care if people know I hate Trump or no vaxxers.
Yeah, right. Oh no.
What are they going to do? Please unfollow me. I don't want you. Well, we're up to 130.
Yeah.
11 people listened to the one that came out on Friday. I was like, oh, okay. I think the stand might have something to do with it. The book that we're doing. I don't think Insomnia was one that many people give a shit about for whatever reason. I love that book.
I was gonna say I enjoyed it.
Yeah, people hate on it.
Well,
I mean,
especially if you like the Dark Tower, you have to like it.
well, that's what I was gonna say. If you're not a Tower person, then you're like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's fair. Well,
Like
that's
we
not.
did it.
I read it when I was younger and I loved it, and I had no idea any of the Tower connection. I just thought it was like a really cool like.
It is. Yes, like the second what 200 pages of that book are so wild, crazy. It was so entertaining with the bugs and the going into his lair and the plane with the Crimson King. And like Crimson King was awesome without the tower in that scene. Like I wanted more of that guy. I never did get more of that guy.
Nope.
We got the weird other king who threw sneeches from Harry Potter at Roland.
Yeah, I think Flag became or Walter became what King should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he went down a bunch of cool roads in Insomnia that I was looking forward to seeing, but he never went back. Like the long time, the short time. Like I still don't know what the hell Old Doors deal is. I don't know how we got on this, but like what is he?
That's what happened before he had Robin.
Before what?
Before he had Robin.
Yeah. Anyway, Candace Moran fell off her bike and died of a fractured skull. No big deal. No great loss. Milton Kraslow was bitten by a rattlesnake and died half an hour later. That's also a good point. If I lived out in like the desert places, I would go straight to the pharmacy and get all the vaccine rattlesnake venom things. Because now if you get bit, you're fucked.
I mean, it's the same logic as Larry when he almost crashed on the bike and he was like, oh, wait a second, this is dangerous. Like nobody can help me if I fall off.
Oh yeah. And he suddenly dawned on him, like, if I break a leg, holy crap. And now, who is the one? Is it him that's going really slow now, like on the bike? Like, I feel like you would be able to see a little bit. You could go a little fast.
Yeah.
I almost feel like you're going. It's worse going that slow on a bike.
That's also true because you got to keep the damn thing up. You go too slow, it'll start falling over.
But I understand, especially with all the debris and bodies.
It'll be easier to maneuver around. I mean, unless you got a Mini Cooper or something.
Smart car.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, what's his name? That car was funny. What kind of car was that?
A smart car.
Is that just what they? That's the brand, smart
that's
car.
That's the brand. Yeah, I don't think there's more than one.
Well, like you say I got a smart car. I was like, oh, that just means it has a bunch of technology in it, like in my head, like a smart phone.
As far as I know, yeah, those are the super tiny cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was tiny. That might work, but I think I'd rather. I don't know. I think I'd rather have a bike, and not like a motorcycle, like a dirt bike almost. Or just get a chopper. Just go all easy rider. But you even know what that means? The chopper with the big handles, where you're like sitting back while you're riding a motorcycle.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought helicopter at first, and I was like, that's definitely not what he meant. And I was like, oh, that's a type of bike, right?
Yeah, it's like sitting in a recliner while you're on a bike. I mean, now that being said, if you had access to a helicopter, that would be even better. Except for the whole learning to fly it part. That might be a little tricky.
It's also like talk about easy ways to die. You can hit anything.
Right. Poor people don't die in helicopter crash. Just saying. I think I'd rather stay on the ground and get in that situation.
Yeah. And also,
then
do an easy target. Like, what if other people want to bring you down?
with what?
No, guns. I don't know. Well, there are certainly bigger weapons in the world.
I'm sure there's like surface to air missiles around, but who the fuck is going to know how to use it? Saying there's going to be technology. The world's moved on, or it's moving on. There's going to be technology from the old people everywhere, but nobody's going to know how to
The
use
old people.
You know what they call them?
They did, I think in Roland's world, yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
that's what I was. That's what I was doing. I was doing a Dark
Yeah.
Tower. The old ones or the old people or something.
Right.
Yeah.
All the people that didn't survive.
Right. All the people that still aren't here. What is it? 5,000 years later, whatever the hell it is. Left there, but Sitco's still there. So for some reason, and that doesn't even exist in our world anymore. They went out of business.
I feel like I was gonna say that's a statement on oil and its impact on the world.
He has been known to be slightly political in those situations. There's I was reading a new one. Maybe it was I can't remember. So bad story, but it was something he was reading and he said over and over again, like how they suck. And I'm like, oh, tell me how you really feel. And it was something like political. I mean, that he didn't say it exactly that way, but it was more like hinting and referencing and like, geez, like you're not really hiding it this time, are you? I'm sure it was something to do with Trump too. He does that in his later books now. They're a little anti-Trumpy sometimes.
I mean, I feel like he's written so much content. He could put out whatever he wants now. It doesn't even matter.
He can just take words from his other books and like randomly, and they'll make new stories.
Right.
Well, I guess you could do that with any book. You can come, but you know what I mean.
Technically, that's all that books are. But yeah.
Right. They're all using the same words, technically, I guess. So it's all about how you arrange them. Not in the electric chair. Lloyd Henry does not ride the electric chair. That's just crazy. I like the picture of Lloyd. You guys have the picture of Lloyd through the bars, grabbing Trask's leg?
I mean,
Yeah.
Franny looks buffer than him, I gotta say. And he's been, he's a guy. Yeah, she was ripped in that picture. That was weird.
It's the only way she could have carried the body.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, they had to make her ripped, right? Because she just carried her dad down the fucking out to the yard.
But just to be clear, Lloyd did take bites from his leg, right? He didn't just think about it.
He did. And when Flag showed, sorry.
Yeah. Well, that it never like full out says really, but it's the assumption.
Right, because he hides it is what you're assuming that, right?
Well, he hides it, and then Flag's like, mm-hmm. And what about Mr. Man over there? You didn't happen to have a little lunch on him, did you? All right, that's not the exact words, but he said something about that. Like, you weren't snacking on him. So.
Well, and he's like,
I thought
one leg looks kind of thinner than the other.
Yeah. I just thought he was eating. I thought it was given that he did. And even when Flag shows up, he's like, it was all poke. Like, come on, man, take some fucking responsibility already.
I know. There was a moment where he's like, all right, I guess he was like, I did kill those 1 or 3 people or whatever he said. He's like, I should only get 20 years for that. So not life or the electric chair or whatever he said.
Yeah, the thought of Lloyd riding the lightning was just crazy. But it's funny how he's like, well, all right, so I'll do 20 years and get out. Like, that's not exactly like a vacation. I mean, 20 years also, is a long fucking time.
There's zero empathy. It's so transactional. It's like, all right, I killed these people. I have to do this time, whatever. But I should do more than that.
Right? That's what I deserve for what I did. Not that I shouldn't have done that. And oh my God, I feel awful for what I did. So, yeah. Now it's, you had your fun. Now it's time to pay. Who cares what happened in the meantime?
All I can say is I don't feel bad for him teaming up with Flag.
Again, you know what I'm going to say. I do because of one reason. I feel like he's in over his head and he doesn't have a choice.
Well,
I wish Lloyd could go back and just like start over and do different stuff.
I'm sure a lot of people wish they could do that in life.
Yeah, well, Oh, I just watched Fantasy Island on Hulu. Pretty good.
Is it a movie?
Yes, it's a '70s TV show. You know, Boss the Plane. Do you remember that? Are you old enough for that?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. YouTube. It's like a. What am I supposed to call him now? A vertically challenged person.
Okay. Little person?
Yeah, Oriental guy. Well, he was famous. What was his name? I can't remember. He died not that long ago. And so it's fantasy islands. People come there to live out their fantasies, but like Black Mirror, your fantasies are never what you expect, kind of thing.
Is it new?
What?
Is it new?
I
No.
think so. 2020 maybe.
I think I might have watched it because it sounds familiar, but I don't remember how it ends. So
That was pretty cool.
yeah, watch it.
We'll put that on our list or watch it. Anyway, I don't remember why I said that. What were we talking about?
Oh,
Lloyd and
you said one person.
Well, wish he could start over.
Oh, right. Wishing that you could do
oh
different.
right, Fantasy Island. That was one of the people's fantasies to get a do over.
Yeah.
But they got the do over, but it wasn't what they expected. So
Imagine
like,
if it was. That would just be a really happy movie.
right? How boring would that be? My God. Like the monkey's paw. Yeah, you're gonna get your wish, but not the way you thought. Isn't there a new movie coming? I think for the monkey's paw, Stephen King version. I read that. Anyway, yeah, we already kind of covered Lloyd, so I got back to that. How much more do I have to do? What are we at? 115. I'm almost done, right? Got like 30 pages.
Yeah, I think I was just getting to the end of Lloyd's section. Then we're back to Nick.
The chapters, Nick.
Chapter 40.
I just lost my place because I looked at the chapters and I forgot what I was on. Okay.
Oh, this is his dream.
Right. So Lloyd leaves with Flag and blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. And Flag even says we got a lot of driving to do tonight. But I feel like Lloyd's doing that. Flag doesn't seem like the kind to drive people around. This is where Nick dreams about Flag.
Mm-hmm. And then Mother Abigail. It like turns into a Nebraska dream.
Yeah. Do we know her by name?
Yeah, it says you just look up to the best and come see Mother Abigail anytime you take a mind to.
Yeah, so why would I do that?
Yeah,
like if I'm Nick, I'm like, who? First of all, this is a dream. I don't even know if this is real. But
I never
okay,
considered that. Like, why?
I mean, he got shit else to do, I guess, right? Might as well go see what's up.
Well, I think it's less of a why and more of a why not.
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, yeah, because his schedule's open at this point. I think his calendar cleared. Become sheriff, get beat up, lose an eye. I think he checked all the boxes.
I guess also if I was like, well, now what? And my dream was like, come to Nebraska, I would just be like, sure. Yeah, like you said, yeah, like why not?
Did Flag? What did Flag? Did Flag tell him to come anywhere? Just her.
Well, Flag offered him a deal, and he said no.
Right. Oh, right. Have your shit back.
Yeah.
Did he make up the song she was singing? Is that an actual song? I don't know. I always wonder that. Some of those songs.
I'm so bad. I never read. When it goes into song, I skip over it.
I read it. Unless it's Baby Can You Dig Your Man, because I can't get the tempo on that. Polk County, Nebraska, west of Omaha and a little north of Osceola. That was in Florida. Oh, no, that's spelled differently.
Osceola?
Yeah, that too.
I have no idea. That's just my guess.
Yeah, that sounds familiar, so that might be what it is. So wait, we've had this discussion. So Nebraska is on top of Oklahoma, right? And then Colorado's next, west. I mean,
I don't know.
Nevada, Colorado, not Utah. What's those ones? Anyway,
Colorado and okay, that makes more sense. They're not as far apart as I thought they were.
well, I don't know what you're talking about. And Nick's in Arkansas. Well, it's not that far actually, right? I think. I mean, if you're
Who
walking,
knows?
everything's far.
I don't know.
Everything's far if you're walking.
Yeah.
But it's better than walking from goddamn Vermont to Nebraska.
That is for sure.
Right, I'm gonna have to fly in a helicopter at that point. Yeah, she's doing a bunch of like high accent religious songs. It seems like, you know. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about Nick other than he dreams about her and moves on. Right, whatever lay ahead, he was glad to be alive.
I know, my good Lord, Nick.
Right, Nick does have it pretty bad, and the hits keep coming, at least so far. Like we met him, and he's a deaf mute when we met him, getting his ass whooped for being a deaf mute. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then he loses. So all right, so I think we end on Larry and the end of Larry and Rita, right? Or the end of Rita, anyway.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Well, Larry and Rita, and then the last bit where Stu meets
Oh, right. Okay.
Fran and
What happens in the next 30 pages?
Yeah.
Old Sparky. Oh wait, never mind.
Wait, what?
Old Sparky's not what I thought it was. In the Green Mile, Old Sparky was an electric chair, and now it's his dick, I think. Yeah, that was he was like all horny. He's like, "Hey, baby," and then, oh, you're dead. Wonder if he was like, "What? Oh, how dead are you?"
Yeah.
Hey, it's the apocalypse, man. Don't judge.
Oh, I'm judging.
Yeah, gross, right? I don't. One fetish I'll never understand. That and feet, right? So Rita dies, and his first thought is, "Holy!" Because he was like cuddling her. He's like, "Oh my god, how long was she dead?"
I know. I mean, even thinking about that makes me want to throw up.
Right. I would be thinking that too. I think like, "Whoa, you're dead." Ew. Like, yeah, I would be like Jim Carrey, like. Have you seen? Do you know that scene? And was that Ace Ventura when he finds out that he kissed a guy and he's like trying to like get this like I guess the stuff off his face, so he's like scrubbing his tongue like Lady Macbeth. He's like, it won't come off.
yeah.
That's what I would be doing. Because ew, this is the apocalypse. Like, who knows? Like, just because they're alive doesn't mean they won't ever get it, right? I mean, are you with that mindset that you think you're out of the woods on the flu at this point? I guess you do. But there's going to be germs everywhere, especially if you were cuddling a dead body for 6 hours or so, or whatever it was. But when was the last time you took a shower? That would be important. I don't want to be like Roland and Eddie, like stinking for a couple months at a time. Actually, I don't think they ever took a shower that we knew them. I think they got in the river once or twice. So he felt a measure of relief that she had died. I mean, and then he tells himself he ain't no nice guy. I'm like, I don't think you need to judge yourself for that. Because it was going to be a pain in the ass. And she probably would have dragged both of you down.
Right, I agree.
I mean, yeah, she did him a favor, honestly.
I also agree.
Yeah, she's what 60 something in the book. Like she doesn't. I forgot she was that old because she's not in the other one. She's just like in her 40s or something. 60, like I mean, it's not dead, but apocalypse wise, you're like, okay, you're much worse off because you don't have the strength, I guess, that you would at 40, or the resilience, or the energy. Shit, I can't go 24 hours without a nap. My God. When do you take naps in the apocalypse? Well, whenever you want, I guess, until shit gets good. Yeah, we kind of talked about her anyway. And I like, and I'm with Larry again. He might not be a nice guy, but I think me and him might be a lot of like. I've been told I'm not a nice guy. But, he didn't bury her. He was chicken. He didn't want to do it. I wouldn't do it either. For me,
You don't owe her anything. That's the way I see it.
well, she's not there anymore. There's that. That's a lot of fucking work. Because if I'm gonna bury her, I'm not gonna bury her a foot down where some wolf can come by and just dig her up and eat her. So if I'm gonna go put the work in, I'm gonna go at least 3-4 feet down, right? So they always do that in the movies, but that shit would be fucking tiring. I dig holes for plants and they're like 2 inches around, and it takes me 5 minutes.
Right.
I'm fucking over it. Like, oh my god, like a 6 foot long, 3 foot deep box. Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Oh no. As soon as
Yeah.
he said that, I was like, no, absolutely not. Yeah.
And I don't feel bad. We just met, so I don't need to bury your ass.
Well,
Go
and
back
it's
to
also
that.
like if there were supply issues, I could get it to get like the tent or the sleeping bag back. But at this point, like, just go take whatever you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, stop at Dick's or Bass Pro and just get on a sleeping bag. The world's your oyster, man. You can go get anything. I mean, you have to go walk there, but that might not. He might not find. I don't know. Where does he sleep that night? Does he have a tent?
He sleeps like outside. That's how he hears Flag.
Right. And for that matter, why doesn't he just like, I don't know, walk to any house he wants to and go sleep there?
That I get because there might be dead bodies.
Yeah, I've seen enough Walking Dead to know how to deal with that.
The smell.
You know, the smell would be everywhere, right? You wouldn't be able to get away from that.
It would probably be worse inside a house.
Yeah.
Open the windows, turn the fan on, burn some incense. I mean, it would be better than outside, at least. Well, I like my comfort. But when I sleep, I want to be in a goddamn soft something or other, not sleeping on a ground with a rock for a pillow. I've moved beyond those days. I used to do it all. Hell, I was homeless for a while. So I'm saying I've never done it, but I don't want to do it anymore. So given the choice, I would go, unless it was full of dead people. I don't know. I probably would do that. I'm not sure. You know, you find these things out when the apocalypse happens.
That's kind of how I always feel. I'm like, who knows how you'll actually feel in that situation?
Right. I might be like, no Wi-Fi. Nope. I'm out.
Yeah.
Although I have to say, we could survive for a couple months on my food stash without even really trying.
There's also a steady supply of books.
Yes, that too. Well, I mean, honestly, I have every Stephen King book, so I could just recycle them until I die. It wouldn't be that hard. And we're doing that now. I got something on my memories that like we published 3 years ago. It's like, wow, 3 years.
Yeah, that's wild.
Crazy. Anyway, yeah, Larry gets a Harley and then almost dies. Well, he didn't almost die. He got in his own head again and kept seeing himself die. Visions of lying unconscious on the side of the road and bleeding to death unattended. Where's Brattleboro? What state is Larry in? New York, right? No, he's in Jersey. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know Brattleboro.
No, I think he went up. I think he's in like Connecticut or Vermont.
Oh, he's going the wrong way.
He was trying to get to Maine.
Yeah, why? Because Stephen King's from Maine?
Yes. Because Maine is actually the center of the universe.
It is. Maine Prime. or what? No, what is it? Keystone, Maine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's when Flag went by. That's where I'm at. felt a sudden mad urge to stand up and let the sleeping bag. So he had another sleeping bag, or did he take the one that Rita had? Ooh, I guess he had to have another one. Gross.
I mean, he got
If
new
he didn't.
clothes, so who knows? He could have picked up new supplies.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's supplies everywhere at this point because it just happened. Even the food's all still good, mostly, except for the stuff in the refrigerators, I guess. I don't know how long has it been.
I have no idea.
I get that. Yeah, I get that timeline screwed up because I can never tell. So yeah, so Stu meets Franny and Harold. Harold's a complete dick. Oh, Stu right away, like, dude, no, I got no interest in taking your girl.
Right.
And I was cracking up. I was like, because Stu didn't doubt that he. It was almost like he didn't doubt that he could if he wanted to, but he's like, I'm not going to do that, dude.
Right.
They're like, oh, well, that's kind of douchey. Like, I'm not going to take her. You can have her. They're like, oh, well, I wonder how Franny feels about that.
Well, he only said that to Harold because he said in his own mind that she's not really the kind that is decided for.
Right. And then, yeah, and Harold's just, I don't know if he's anti-man or anti-anybody, but it doesn't matter what Stu says. He's like, no, no, no.
Right.
Like, I can just, like, picture him, like, braying and kicking his back leg like a donkey. But I guess he comes around. The three of them are off together. That's where we leave it, right? And then Stu's like, oh, yeah, that was all bullshit because I did want her after her. And so I guess that's our building our drama for book 2. It's like, oh yeah, so that's what's going to happen there. Yeah, it was actually kind of cool to get back into that because I kind of forgot everything. Now I can start reading it again. I feel like it's been a while because I finished early and then I think we delayed it like a week and a half. So like I think we had 2 weeks. I was done in like by that like Tuesday, I think. But that's also the same Tuesday I got You Like It Darker, so it worked out. But I've been reading that and not this. So I had to like, I was going to do the tunnel scene again, and I got too busy at work to audiobook it. Because that's one of my favorites. I love the tunnel, and I love the audiobook of the tunnel scene because you get all the like emotions and stuff. Audiobooks are fun. I can't do them unless I've read it because my mind wanders too much, and I'm like, wait, what was that? But they're fun when like I think I said it before, like little plays on tape. I like it. And half the time it's one guy doing like all the people.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool too. Like he talks like this when he's a girl, you know. I think that's what they're doing with Fran in the audiobook. Isn't it a guy doing Fran? I think it might be Frank Muller. I'll have to check. He's the one that did like the first 4 Dark Tower books and then like died all of a sudden.
Yeah.
He was my favorite. All right, so what do we got? Book 2. And there's a lot of chapters. 4, 6. So we're doing about 150 each time, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
About we could do through 47 or through 46. Through 47 would be almost 200 pages. I got 468 to 665. Or 468 to 639. How many more chapters are there? Do we want to split it in half? What do you think? 468 to 1,000. No, that'd be 250. Okay, no, we're not doing that. How about then? Let's go Let's go up to and including 46.
Up to and including 46.
Yeah, that gives us about 160, I think. It's like 470 to 640.
Okay.
170. Okay. Everybody good?
I think so.
Let's move on and see where these people go. I guess 2 weeks until we do or don't change it. But I don't. What's 2 weeks? I don't think I have anything off the top of my head.
Yeah,
That's
same.
June.
It's June like 9th, right? If we go back to
Yeah,
like,
I think I'm good. I think I'm good on that one. The 22nd. That's a Saturday. We're going to Coney Island the 22nd. So that weekend's probably up. We'll worry about that when the time comes.
Okay.
So let's say. Oh wait a minute. We're in the middle of the week. What day is this?
This is
It's Wednesday. Can
was
we
when,
do this in 10 days, or do you want to do 2.5 weeks?
well, I was just thinking. I don't think I can do the 9th because I think I'm gonna be busy that weekend.
All right, then let's do. And I'm busy the 22nd, so that sounds like that weekend in the middle there is perfect.
Okay.
okay.
What is that? 16th.
That
We'll
works.
call it that. We'll call it that weekend for now.
Sure.
Let's try to keep it close to that because I'm not ahead on episodes at all. Like I have to edit these to get one on for Friday.
Okay.
And what are we at? An hour and a half. So this is probably going to be 2 episodes. So we'll need to do that one to publish.
Okay.
So, all right. Everybody good?
Yeah.
Yep.
End of the podcast. Everybody say bye.
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 Bye.